Tonight on MasterChef Australia, the premiere of the new-look MasterClass. We open the doors to the public for the very first time with Movita's Frank Camorra.
This sort of dish, it's all about sharing.
Gary preps for winter with a sour cherry pudding.
You can just have a little foodie moment. You can just sort of go like that.
George shows Kelty how to do liver the right way.
You excited, Kelty?
And the first of Matt's regular segments for cheats.
A spectacular masterclass. Brilliant.
Burning up in my heart like a flame, like a brighter shooting star in our souls. We all know our dreams make us who we are. We got today, so spin me round and show me the way back to burning.
I am.
Your ears are going
Kind
red.
of weird. I am blushing.
That's so cute.
I don't expect to walk into work and have, I don't know, 100 people giving me a round of applause. This is our first masterclass in Melbourne, and it's our... Yes! And it's our first masterclass with you lot looking and watching. What's masterclass all about this year? It's about fun. It's about what we like to eat. What else?
I think it's about what we like to feed our families. It's about food that you're going to want to cook at home for your families. I think that's the whole idea. We want to show you stuff that's going to make you better cooks, but easily, without it being tricksy and difficult.
No, that's your job. George is not going to do that.
No, okay.
We've got some good stuff on today. I'm doing sour cherry pudding. Yum. What are you
Soup
doing?
for me.
Pumpkin soup
for me.
What weird and wacky thing are you doing?
Calf's liver.
Yes! See? I love that. What do you want to talk about?
Look, you know, I'm loving the fact that Aussie young chefs out there are embracing their heritage. You look at someone like Adam De Silva, who's just opened up Tonka, Indian-inspired restaurant. I think that's wonderful.
But at the same time, you've also got people like Three Blue Ducks, you know, three boys that have met, one Englishman, two Aussies, by the beach surfing their breaks. I like the idea. Can you imagine me surfing? I don't need a board.
The problem is when Gary and I go swimming, these Greenpeace guys keep rolling us back into the ocean.
Well, all those rules about getting caught in a rip, I don't worry about those. I just float out of them. Right, we've got a special guest.
Special guest. He opened up a small Spanish restaurant in the back of a pub. From that very basic beginning, he's built an empire of 3 restaurants in Melbourne, 1 in Sydney, a bakery. Please welcome, from Movita, Frank Camorra.
Frank, we love your restaurants.
Thanks, mate.
Tell us, when, and I know how I am when I'm in Australia, but when I go to Greece, there's a different person comes out because of the food and the culture and the people. How is it for you? When you go into Spain, what happens?
Look, you sort of see some of the reasons why, you know, food's so important to me. I know why family is so important to me. You know, you are part of that country. You do feel that those roots, you know, make you the person that you are.
Do you eat lots when you're there?
Well, I don't stop eating, unfortunately, when I'm there, because there's so many options.
Sounds
there
good.
you go.
George and I, we've got some prep to do, so we'll leave you two at it. We'll see if we're going to have a cup of tea. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Off you go.
So, Frank, what's the dish you're going to cook us?
Okay, it's called in Catalan, Romesco de Peix.
It's a fancy fish stew, isn't it? That's
It
what we're
is.
talking about.
First thing we've got to do is we have to make bisque, okay? Because bisque takes a little bit of time. Now, vegetables, okay? Carrots, onions. In this case, we're going to use some fennel as well. Fennel is one of those intrinsic Spanish flavours that works really well with fish. Don't worry too much about trying to be really fancy with your cutting. The garlic, all I do is cut that in half.
You're using a pressure cooker here because it's quicker.
And I think the flavour of stock's
It's actually
come out
better.
even more delicious.
Right.
In go our vegetables.
And you're not fussy, they all go at the same time, even though they're different hardness?
No, because all we want is to basically caramelise it well together. A little bit of salt at this stage. We have some fennel seeds. Okay, so we'll pop some peppercorns in there as well, just whole, because they're all going to be strained out. This is the colour that you want to happen with your garlic, okay? I can smell, it really is an amazing sweetness to it. A little bit longer.
Hi, I noticed that you didn't peel the garlic.
It's going to be strained out of our sauce, so, you know, there's no point in actually taking it out. It's going to colour the sauce even more. Okay, and then we're going to deglaze with a little bit of brandy, so stand back, just in case.
Yeah, why not? You know, 'cause...
Oh, it's kind of disappointing.
Oh. Yeah, it was a real letdown, sorry.
You know, that's just for show, though. Okay, so we're going to put our tomato in there, sprigs of thyme, a bit of parsley, just use the stalks, a few bay leaves.
So you've got loads of different flavours going in.
Absolutely.
And then finally, these lobster heads.
We've got these beautiful shells that have been roasted. You can see the colour. They're really quite crisp. Just crush them up really quite roughly.
That's the best thing you can do.
Do you want to do it? Oh, yeah. You can enjoy it. I can see you want to.
You can tell you know.
This is where we get our big flavours from. Gives it a really rich, rich flavour.
And you're putting enough water in just so that you're covering the elements in the pan.
Exactly.
Yeah?
So we're going to cover it and simmer it away for half an hour.
Today we have Frank Camorra from Avida in the kitchen cooking a Catalan classic, Romesco de Peix.
We're going to start our Romesco sauce. Okay. So we have some hazelnuts and some almonds that have been roasted lightly. We don't want to, like, destroy the texture. We want a bit of texture of nuts there, so...
So it'd be like a coarse breadcrumb, is that the sort of...
Coarse breadcrumb is a good way to explain, absolutely. In go the rest of our ingredients. So we've got sofrito, is onions, peppers and tomatoes cooked down really gently, give it a bit of time. It ends up being like a little sort of a jam consistency as well. We've also got, for further sweetness, a roasted red pepper, diced up. We're going to add about a tablespoon and a half of sweet paprika. This is probably one of the more important ingredients in a traditional Romesco. These are called like Nora peppers. That really does give it a lovely earthiness as well.
Where do you normally find those?
Spanish delicatessens, you could find those.
The great thing about things like these peppers is you can buy them online, and then you've got them, and you've got that kind of essential building block.
Pinch of salt and sherry vinegar, and a little bit of olive oil to just bring that all together.
So you want a little bit of emulsification in the sauce, yes?
I do, yeah. I want it to come together quite well. I have. And now we just bring these two components together. So we've got our sauce and our nuts. And then, you know, just taste it for seasoning.
I better just check, Frank, obviously.
Good.
It's very good.
I think it's good.
It's very
It doesn't
good.
even need any real salt.
No. So, Frank, Romesco made, what next?
A pressure cooker now, it's been going for about 30 minutes. So it's a matter of turning it off. Sorry, guys. So that's ready to open now. If you can open it, it's usually pretty safe to open. Boiling away.
Oh, wow. That smells fantastic.
It's amazing. Yeah, it really is a delicious aroma. We're just going to pour this into here now.
Okay. Do you smell all that? Yeah.
Just step back a little bit, guys. I'm only joking. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And really just squash it in there. That way we're getting as much of that flavour out of this as possible. I'm not wasting anything.
And you also get to redecorate your kitchen, which is also good. So, Frank, Bisque is made, Romesco's made. What next?
got some lovely shellfish here. So with the prawns, all I'm going to do, I'm actually going to leave the heads on.
Right.
You don't have to, but you haven't lived until you suck the head of a prawn. Trust me.
Or eating the crispy heads with the eyes. Unbelievable.
Exactly. We're going to remove its...
Poo shoot, we call it.
poo shoot. I was going to say poo shoot. Just slides out.
Beautiful.
Okay. Do that to all your prawns. Split a couple of scampies lengthways. Okay. So calamari, we're going to cut about 4 pieces, and albacore tuna. We're going to remove the bloodline. It's this dark piece which is sort of around the centre. You know, most people would find that a bit unpleasant and overpowering in flavour.
A bit funky.
Yes. Cut these in about centimetre thick pieces.
If you couldn't get a hold of a tuna fillet, what other fish would you recommend for this dish to use?
I would say kingfish is another great fish to use. It's got that just oily texture, which I like in this dish. It's very Spanish. You know, now we're basically ready to cook the dish.
Great.
You don't want to overload your pan. In goes our calamari. And at this stage, a little bit of parsley and garlic. One of those classic flavours of Spanish food. And get those prawns frying off. Take out that tuna now. Just let it sit aside. Scampi. Shell side down, because I want to caramelise that shell a little bit to get that flavour in there. I'm going to deglaze with sherry. I love the flavour sherry gives to my cooking. I'm going to grab the bisque now. Rich bisque that we made before. You want it to just cling to the seafood. Now, we can add our clams and our mussels. Let those open up. In goes our Romesco.
You're going to just gently work in that romesco. You want stuff inside the shells of the mussels and the clams. You want it
Absolutely. So we're making sure that all that's happening. We can see the mussels have just opened up. We can plate this up now. So a nice large dish.
And in terms of serving this dish, would you serve it with rice? Would you serve it with bread? What would you serve it with?
I would serve it with bread. I mean, that's the staple of Spanish food, really. You know, if you've got some beautiful bread to dip into this sauce, there's not much else you're going to need, really. I mean, this sort of dish, though, obviously it's all about sharing. Let's just pour the rest of the sauce right over the top.
Wow.
And then, we're going to garnish it with some seaweed. Crisp up in a little bit of olive oil.
Seaweed, you're such a chef.
The fennel, just over the top as well for some extra flavour. Okay, there you have it. Romesco de Peix or Catalan fish stew.
Fantastic, right? Who wants to taste? Thank you, madam in the black, and you. Step forward, please.
Don't be too critical.
That's my job.
Yeah, exactly.
That sauce is amazing.
That is beautiful.
What are you tasting?
You can really taste the hazelnuts, I think, more than anything. And I can't think of the word to describe what the nuts bring to the dish.
It's kind of, there's the toastiness from the nuts, isn't there? Which works so well with the roundness and the sweetness of the capsicum. How about you?
Oh yeah, definitely that sauce just has that real richness, and I can really taste the roasted capsicum. It's just, yeah, adds a really nice texture to the dish.
Fantastic, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. I thought that was way too puny. You've got to eat more than that. You got Frank Camorra hand cooking your dish. You should be there, shoving it in your mouth. Well, Frank Camorra, thank you so much for coming in, being our first guest chef. Fantastic to see this little slice of Catalunya in our kitchens. Frank Camorra, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Matt. Pleasure.
Every week we do something that's a little bit debatable, arguable, something that at home people go, hang on a minute, I don't know if I agree with that. That's what this little segment is. It's the perfect. Who boils an egg perfectly? Oh, come on. Is it a random thing? Do you put them in and hope for the best? Yeah. You put them in, sometimes they're sort of, sometimes they're soft, sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're in between. Do they crack when you pop them in? Yeah. Yeah? I'm probably going to say they're not, these aren't going to crack, but then I bet you as soon as I put them in, they crack. My golden rules are room temperature eggs and boiling water. All right? I'll put a couple in. You can put a pinch of salt in. There's a rumour that if you want to peel it, the salt helps. And 5.5 minutes, and that'll cook the perfect soft-boiled egg. If you want a hard-boiled egg, 10 minutes on the nose. And fresh eggs are king, always, all right?
I don't like this. I don't like this technique.
Why?
I think, for me, it's a tight pan. The eggs just fit in cold water, bring it to the boil, take the eggs off the heat, cover it 3.5 minutes. It's perfectly soft-boiled every single time.
How random's that?
I've got something really cool I can do here.
Show me something interesting. Oh, the trick!
It doesn't always work, but if it does work, it's kind of cool.
You saw it on YouTube.
No, Gary, like chefs, this is my way of separating eggs.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
I've never seen that before.
Right, my 5.5 minutes are up. This is a small egg, so I may have overdone it.
Oh dear. How's it gone? Oh, look at that. That's perfect. That's perfect.
So, are you going to test my technique at home? Boiling water?
Yep.
5 to 6 minutes, soft in the middle. Forget all that hocus about cold water up to the boil. It doesn't work.
It works really well.
That works all the time.
Who would you trust, Gary or a man who can suck an egg up in a bottle?
Hey guys. Hey. How are we going? Very first masterclass. Yeah. Excited? It's been a wonderful week. You guys have been working your backsides off, but that's what it's all about. And this is our little opportunity to have a think and a look back to what you did well, but also what you didn't, okay? And the first thing that comes to my mind is the dreaded offal. Kelty. Come on, Georgie. You can do it, son. Yes.
You've got a really... You all right, George?
Bucket for Mr. Calombaris. That dish is, I would arguably say, one of the 5 worst dishes I've ever had in the MasterChef kitchen.
I don't want to pick on you today, but I will.
Okay.
Calf's liver. You're not into it, are you?
No, not at all.
But Nolene loves it, and she picked it for you.
You're never grateful, are you?
I'm still having nightmares because of it.
Kelty, what is it that you don't like about calf's liver?
You know, even when I was cutting it, you know, there was sinew and veins, and I also know the function of what a liver is, and that doesn't turn me on either.
No? You've got to embrace it. It's the whole nose to tail thing. Today we're cooking calf's liver with bacon sauce and my take on mashed potato. Nikki, just for you, we're going to put it in a foam gun. Okay? All right? Okay, and I know this week you took mozzarella and you blended it with olive oil and other bits and bobs and you tried to make a mozzarella foam.
Oh, man, that's bad.
It's bad, yeah.
Really man, that's really bad. Did you try that? You have to try this. I'm going to make you eat a big spoonful. Come on.
That's it, Nikki. Choo-choo.
What's wrong with that, Nikki?
It's not right.
It's wrong. It's rank. Never, ever make that ever again. But what we will do is show you how to use one of these correctly, okay? Right, first of all, calf's liver. And what we've done is literally marinated that in olive oil, thyme, garlic. That's it. What I want to do is change the texture of the liver slightly. So we need to make a little crumb for the outside of it. I've got some deep fried shallots here, a couple of tablespoons. I've also got some just regular crisps. I've made these, just sliced them and cooked them in olive oil. Just pound this up. So that the potato's there to add that lovely little crispiness to the liver. All right? Now, I've dehydrated some gherkins and then pounded them up, okay, for a bit of oomph, a bit of guts. That goes into our little concoction, about, you know, a tablespoon of that. That's yummy stuff. We'll just set that aside. Now, for our foam. Nikki, you want to come and help me?
Yes.
Come on, mate. What I've got here is mashed potato, whisk, spatula. Let's go. Boom, boom. Cold butter, hot potato. All right? Yeah, all right. Put a little bit in and start stirring. About 100 grams of butter. Okay. Now, I mean, I'm proud of you because you were brave and you went out on a limb with the mozzarella foam. What you need to understand is with the foam, you're adding carbon dioxide to something, right? Something that's high in fat is going to struggle to aerate and it will separate, okay? Right, so I've got equal quantities of milk and cream here and it's by eye, okay? Grab the whisk now, because now we want to really knock the lumps out of it, okay?
What sort of consistency are you looking for with the potato?
I'm looking for pouring cream
pouring
consistency.
cream consistency?
Yeah. When you whisk, watch. Don't move your entire body, right? You just, yeah? Right. It's all in the wrist, Nikki, yeah? And that is pretty much the consistency we're looking for. Just pull it off the heat. So, explain to everyone the consistency of the potato.
So it's nice and smooth, looking
just hold
really
it up,
luscious.
Hold it up and show everyone.
Oh, wow.
Looking really beautiful.
Goodness me.
Now, get it all into the siphon canister.
Do you have a funnel?
No, mate, you can do it. Look. I know I'm going to make a mess now.
Oh, there you go.
Fancy. Beautiful.
Years of experience.
Right.
Beautiful.
The top goes on, and I'm going to charge this with carbon dioxide. Make sure the top's on properly, and then... Yeah, you hear that first little bit of Nikki, you're going to give it the first squirt, okay? Watch it, it's hot. Yeah. Gentle. Stop. Beautiful.
Sneaky.
Absolutely beautiful. All right. Now, a little bit of salt there on you there for you. Some of these crumbs, and that can be your little...
Thank you so much, George.
Good boy. Well done. Good job.
I'm good, man.
Okay, guys. Now, liver. We take it out of the oil, and then hot pan, a little bit of some of the marinating oil. Liver goes in.
George, one of the things I struggled with the liver was removing that membrane.
If you're finding you've got trouble, flip it over like a fish and run your knife underneath the membrane. A little bit of sea salt while it's in the pan, okay? And then flip it over. So about a minute on either side.
George, with liver, what are you looking for, like medium?
Yeah,
so
I want
still
it,
pink
you know,
in the middle, or?
I like it just a little bit of pink. You know, I think it's just personal preference. It just it shouldn't be rare. You excited, Kelsey?
Can't say I am, mate.
The liver doesn't do it for you, does it?
Okay, our liver's done. I'll rest it on the potato crumb, and the next job is sauce. Right, in that pan, butter goes in. Shallots go in. Pancetta goes in, diced pancetta. A few caraway seeds go in, and I keep them whole. That flavour of caraway is delicious, especially with things like liver. Right, vinegar for sharpness and to cut through the heaviness of the liver. Tablespoon of that. And just a little bit of stock, okay? And then finally, some thyme leaves, some parsley. Smells wonderful. And we're done. Now, let's plate this baby up. We've made a little compression of apple to go with the dish because I think fruit lends itself to liver. A little bits of calf's liver. Some deep fried flat leaf parsley. Our sauce. And then our foam. There you have it. Calf's liver, potato air, and the bacon sauce. Right, there you have it. Kelty? You know I'm going to ask you to come and taste them, and Nolene, of course.
Come on, whack into it, Kelty.
So, ladies first, hey, Kelty.
Absolutely. And
So,
second and
off
third.
you go. Make sure you get a bit of the apple. That will help.
I will. Yep.
Fantastic.
Someone, no, Kelty, give me that. Here, come here. I'll feed you like I feed my son. And we'll do aeroplanes. Open up.
Right.
That's really good, George.
You like it?
I do. It's just so soft and it's really, really easy to eat. It's not grainy, it's not tough.
Kelty,
What can he say? Words escape him.
have I converted you?
Look, I appreciate the apple flavour that definitely goes with it. I like the creaminess of the potato. But I'm sorry, chef, it's still liver to me, you know. Ultimately, it's still liver.
You're a dirt bag. Get back.
So a little something for the weekend is going to be one of our new segments whereby we cook something that the family can get together and cook. Today, I'm going to do a sour cherry pudding. Yum. In a saucepan, about half a cup of butter and a jar of cherry jam. We're going to melt these ingredients and then we're going to fold those through dry ingredients. In this bowl, 30 grams of self-raising flour, 100 grams soft brown sugar and 140 grams of brown breadcrumbs. All right? Into that, a couple of tablespoons full of candied ginger. Just eat a bit. Why not? And a teaspoon of baking powder. So that's just going to give it a boost and act as a raising agent. All right? Orange zest. Using a microplane. And that's just going to keep that beautiful and fragrant. So, dry ingredients ready to go. Pretty simple so far. Now we need a syrup, all right, that can go in the bottom of this mould. So when you turn it out, pull it off, sour cherries. So to make the sour cherry syrup, easy. About a cup of these little sour cherries. You can use raisins, currants, barberries, whatever you fancy. In, 1 cinnamon quill, star anise, don't have to, but bay leaves in there, doesn't matter. And then sugar to sweeten, or 50, 60 grams. All right, here's the sexy bit. This is creme de cassis. It's a cherry liqueur. Don't put any in there. It's just a drink. Wow, it's amazing. Bit of that. And actually, the same quantity of water. It's just allow those cherries to soak, to macerate, and get all nice and plump. And then to reinforce the lovely zestiness, you can just put a bit of orange zest in. You know, I only learned to use a microplane when we did Kids MasterChef. That's true. But I used to use it like this. Like that. And then one of the kids was doing this. And I went, hey, that's really cool. And it collects all the zest in that strange gutter-shaped mechanism that is the grater. And I said, who taught you how to do that? And he goes, I read the instructions. It's crazy. And I've been cooking for 30 years. What do I know? Bit of orange juice into that cherry syrup. We're going to let that come to the boil and simmer and just reduce a little bit so it becomes slightly syrupy. That's what we're after. Okay. See, the only disadvantage of not being in chef's whites is you can just normally do that. Now I've got to use a tea towel. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine our melted jam and butter with our dry ingredients. Even sounds good, doesn't it? Just fold that through gently. Yum. Now for the eggs. So we just mix those eggs in one at a time. And remember, you've got the baking powder in there. So that acts as the raising agent, and the eggs act as a raising agent as well. I love raw cake mix. Who loves raw cake mix? Yeah. I'm often tempted, like right now, not even to bake it. Just get some ice cream out and just tuck in.
Is there a reason why you fold that rather than beat it?
Because it's got breadcrumbs in it. This mixture's got breadcrumbs in it. It's not the same as trying to incorporate flour and get a smooth batter. That's the reason. Right. So mixture done. Now for a bit of fun. Pudding moulds buttered, and enough butter so the puddings will pop out. And then these lovely little syrupy cherries. Ooh. No, that's stupid. Just put some cherries in the bottom. Not the star anise, obviously. And what you want is enough cherries on the bottom of the moulds, just so that you get that lovely glistening top when you turn the pudding out. Any remaining syrup, then we'll keep that for afterwards, just to drizzle over the top. So, the pudding mixture on top. I'm liking this quiet. Like a little food moment. Just go yum. Right. Bain-marie. Hot water, which I've had almost to the boil. And then pop a little bit of paper and a little bit of foil on the top of each one of these. These are going to take about 45, 50 minutes. That's what I was going to tell you, because they're nice and small. Let's hope it tastes nice. Otherwise, I'm in big trouble. Let's pop this in. 165 degrees, which is not hot, fan forced, and that will take about 45 to 50 minutes. And then we've just got to wait. We're making sour cherry puddings with sour cherry syrup, and I think might be cooked. They better be. The anticipation. So we've just got to tease this foil and paper off. And if they're nice and firm, they're cooked. So that's beautiful. Just tease that pudding around the outside, just to make sure that it's going to come out. Ooh. Yum. Can you smell that? Mm. Yeah. Now, a little bit of extra cherries and syrup. And then a cheeky trick, because I'm going to put a quenelle of cream on. You don't have to, but I just can't get over my chefy self. If you warm the spoon up a little bit, when you put it in the cream, kind of meltiness. Yep. So there you go. Little sour cherry puddings with triple cream and cherry syrup. Who wants to taste? All right. Come on then, up you come. Grab a spoon. Dive in, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's like being at home. Yum.
It's amazing. It's so soft.
It's soft,
It doesn't
it's not-
taste floury or heavy. Wow. It's really moist in the centre.
Yeah.
And the liqueur oozes out.
So thumbs up, delicious.
Yeah.
One more spoonful. Go
Yep.
on, just for the road. You can just have a little foodie moment. You can just sort of go like that.
Today I'm making a fancy pumpkin soup, the Cheats way. So, should we get into it?
Yes.
Good. Can't cook in a cravat. That'd be about as stupid as wearing one. Right, down to business. Pumpkin soup, the most popular soup in Australia. What makes this one different is that I've taken a very old Australian idea, which is to use Granny Smith apple instead of potato to give some smoothness and just to lighten the flavour of the pumpkin, because it's very rich pumpkin soup. But the first thing we're going to start off with, if you are going to chop, my advice is to make it fun. So, normal with a knife, 5 chops. With this one, 1 chop, and it's done. You can go if you want. Pumpkin. Now, so we're looking at about a kilo of pumpkin, which is about that. Now, I'm roasting this pumpkin soup, not just because it makes it easier for the skin to come off, but also because what I'm going to do with it is it's going to dry the pumpkin out, it's going to intensify the flavour. You know when you roast stuff, the sugars come out and you get that lovely sweetness. 3 garlic cloves. And then onion, a little bit of oil. Ideally, spray the pan. And then on this, a little bit of spice. I'm going to use a teaspoon of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, about half a teaspoon of nutmeg, just to give it some flavour. That's going to marry so beautifully. Just toss that around. So that is the pumpkin. And now, the best part of this is we let the oven do all the work. There's no frying, there's no nothing. So it's straight into 180-degree oven for about 30 minutes. Basically, until it's soft. Time for a cup of tea and a biscuit. This is me cooking. Today I'm making a fancy pumpkin soup the Cheats way. So the vegetables have been in for about half an hour. Here we have roasted. So, I mean, look, honestly, you could just eat it like that and it would be good. So just let it cool down a bit. And what I'm going to do with it, hot chicken stock, about 1.5 litres, spoon, and then literally you can, as simply as that, peel it away. Now that is a lot easier than peeling pumpkin with a sharp knife.
Could I do it with butternut pumpkin?
I reckon do what Donna Hay does. She cuts the butternut in half, then she bakes the 2 halves of butternut and then scrapes those out. It's a great way of doing it. Right, chicken stock. I don't know, you thick pumpkin soup people or thin? Thick, thin, you see. The world is divided into people who are either thick or thin. I'm thick, but I'm not thin. If this was Chef World, we would get a fine sieve and a ladle and we'd work it through 7 or 8 times so it was silky smooth. I mean, I think it matters if you're going to, as matters if I'm going to charge you $30 a bowl for it, but I've yet to get my family to pay that sort of money for what I cook. Simple. but, you know, taste, adjust the seasoning, as you always do. So here we go. Looks like pumpkin soup, tastes like pumpkin soup, is pumpkin soup, but about half the work. So there we are. That's the washing up. Really, all we've got is the roasting pan and that to wash up. Now, I'm a big believer that everything tastes better with a little bit of pig. So, I love this. Pork and pepita nut brittle, which is disgraceful and decadent. So, about 50 grams of bacon.
Hey, Matt.
And a bit of technical help, just in case it all goes pear-shaped.
You know what the magic thing is? I mentioned bacon and Gary and George appear. Such is...
It actually smells wonderful.
So... pepitas.
Nice, I like it.
George.
The funny thing is, I actually can.
Yeah, get it all in. But can you get in?
Yum.
So when that all starts to get a bit goldy, browny, just 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and that's going to melt into that and make it kind of cracknel.
Is that what it's for? I mean, I love that little finish.
So have a little taste of that. I reckon.
Ooh. That looks really good.
No, you don't have to use brown sugar. You could use palm sugar or just maple syrup, which is delicious.
Oh, wow.
And then finish it with a little bit of butter. And then, do you want to just bowl up?
Forget the soup. I just want to eat that. Yeah. That is amazing.
I know, it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. But you're gonna have like a teaspoon of it. It's just a little bit of like a sweetness at the end of the meal.
I'm not gonna have a teaspoon of it.
I want you to use your tweezers though.
You just want me to use them, don't you?
Oh.
The problem is, by the time I'm finished, the soup will be cold.
Yeah, you can use a spoon. Use a spoon. So this is going to give you another texture, another crunch, sweetness, saltiness, bacony goodness. Then I'm going to use my natural tweezers just to lay a couple of crispy sage leaves
A little bit
on
of
the
that.
top.
A little bit of that.
See, that's the right proportion.
Yeah, that's a terrible proportion. So, a couple extra minutes at the end, and you've got a pumpkin soup, which kind of looks fancy, but it's the laziest pumpkin soup in the world. It's lovely and healthy at the bottom, and on the top, it's all evil.
That has been a spectacular masterclass. Did you love it? Yeah! We loved it too. Brilliant.
Next time, MasterChef takes over the beautiful Barossa. But all is not what it seems.
Oi, wake up! This ain't a holiday.
Seeing George Calombaris at 6 a.m. was not really what I had in mind.
It's boot camp, MasterChef style.
I am camp, I don't do boot camp.
If you have a culinary flaw, this next week we'll find it out.
Are you ready for MasterChef Boot Camp?
Some of them will be pushed to the limit.
How are you, man? It's in the judge's hands, yeah?
Jules is under pressure.
I am not.
A double elimination looms. As the battle of the sexes is decided.
He's got to start again.
Sorry, but yes.